Hi, my name is Chirstin and this is my thought for the week. So I wanted to read a couple of verses from Job today, as I've sort of been thinking about it and reading over these verses, and I thought I would share it with you. So it's Job chapter 23 verses 10 to 12, which I'll read for you now. So it says, "But he knows the way that I take. When he has tested me, I shall come forth as gold. My feet have closely followed his steps. I have kept to his way without turning aside. I have not departed from the commands of his lips. I have treasured the words of his mouth more than my daily bread." I thought I was reading this and I decided to look at commentary just to sort of help my understanding of what these verses mean, and the commentary sort of really highlights about Job's confidence, and even though Job's life experiences have been quite horrendous, it's amazing how he still sort of trusts in God, and I thought this was quite relevant, as we've been going through a pandemic, and even though sort of restrictions have been lifted, it's a bit of a weird time of knowing what to do and what not to do, and I think I was quite struck with Job's assurance that God still had him, even in this crisis. So I just thought this was a good sort of example, and it's just quite relevant. And I sort of had mixed feelings as I was going through these short verses, with how verse 11 says, and I'm just going to read it from the Message as well, just because it gives a different take on it. And it says, "I followed him closely, my feet in his footprints, not once swerving from his way," which feels quite a hard example to live up to in some ways, just because I can think of my life, and there's many times where my praying or my Bible reading has kind of fallen to the side, and it hasn't been my first priority to keep connected with God, but to look at this example and be like, wow, he never once swerved, is quite a challenging thing, I guess. But what's quite lovely is in verse 12 it says, "I've obeyed every word he's spoken, and not just obeyed his advice, I've treasured it." And I guess because it lands on that, I guess it kind of gives a different perspective on actually it's not about just obeying and following rules, it's about treasuring what God has to say and speak, and what he has to speak over your life, and I think that just really alters my perspective and changes my sort of attitude toward these things, that actually reading my Bible, it shouldn't be a sort of thing that I just tick off from my sort of to-do list to do, that actually it's something that I should really treasure, and something that I should really have as my first priority. So I just thought I'd share those sort of thoughts with you. Hope they're helpful in some way, and I hope you have a good week. Thanks, bye.